Welcome to the High Beach. This is Hayes Arcade, your hardcore casual fan. Today, as we're in WrestleMania season, we're going to rank all of the Undertaker's matches throughout the years during the streak and post the streak, which is still crazy in my mind. F Vince McMahon. We're going to rank them from legendary to trash. So let's get it started. Ooh, Undertaker versus Sid Vicious. This was just okay. It was okay. One of the worst main events of WrestleMania history. Mostly because it should have been Vader. Shout out to Sean. And Sid Vicious is a great persona, but as a competitor, as a wrestler, not that good. So it was just okay. Let's see what we have here. Who is this? Ooh, Ric Flair versus Undertaker. I would say this is an instant classic. The match, the story leading up to it, to where Undertaker was basically stalking Flair's family and kids. Flair, who was the commissioner or the GM, co-owner of the WWF at the time. This was a instant classic. One of Flair's best WWE matches for real. He wasn't really made to be a singles competitor much longer after this. So this is kind of really a hidden gem, in my opinion. But definitely instant classic for The Undertaker during this streak. Became 10-0 during this time. Oh, Lord. Is this what I think it is? Yeah. John Gonzalez, trash. Next. Oh, the match that ended the streak. As just a match, I think it's trash. I think the story was trash. The match itself was trash. Undertaker got concussed like 2 minutes in. The ending was trash. Everything about this was trash. Everything about this was trash. Straight up. King Kong Bundy versus The Undertaker. I think I want to say WrestleMania 11. Trash. Come on, man. King Kong Bundy. No disrespect to King Kong Bundy. Actually, I've seen some of his shoot interviews from back in the day. Seems like a very cool, sweet guy. And 1995 wasn't it. Diesel versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 12. Actually, this is a very solid match. I would say this is a good match. Diesel was about to leave and go to WCW, and he definitely gave it his all at WrestleMania 12 versus The Undertaker. Probably had no choice, but still. Let's see what we got here. Undertaker, Cena at WrestleMania 34, a match we should have got at 30, but we didn't because, Vince. It's an okay match. Only given 3.5 minutes. They took advantage of that 3.5 minutes, did everything they could, but come on, how much can you do? Guys at this level, I'm just shocked. The lack of respect that Vince and creative had for both Taker and Cena, who were the faces and cornerstones of your company, only to give them 3.5 minutes. I don't care how much you might have lost faith in Taker. He deserves at least 10. At least got to give him 10 minutes. At least. Out of anybody on that card, he at least deserves 10 minutes. And they could have figured out a way to make it work. I mean, Taker wasn't that bad. But yeah, that's so disrespectful. I can't believe they did that. And they didn't even do the rematch the following year, which is what I thought they was going to do. Randy Orton. Undertaker versus Randy Orton. I would say a very good match at 21. This is when they started doing the streak storyline with The Undertaker. I think he went 12-0 at that WrestleMania. I think he was 12-0 in that WrestleMania. No, 13-0. Because I remember 23 was 15-0. Yeah, so he went 13-0 at this WrestleMania. A very solid match, a little sloppy. Orton, you could definitely tell Orton was nervous. This is probably his biggest match of his career, even more than the title match at SummerSlam versus Benoit. So he was definitely, you could tell he was nervous, a little off, but he made it work. And a very solid match. Even the end with the whole Bob Orton with the cast and everything, a great near fall. Even the chokeslam into the RKO, beautiful. Let's see what we got here. Undertaker Shane. This had no business happening. Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania 32. I feel like as a match, it was like I wish I had something between good and okay. That's how I feel. It had its moments. It told a story. I'll say it's good. It told a story. Taker, this is like the last time you could visibly see Taker with Khalees go. I'm still don't know what the whole at the very end of this match, but Taker smirks as Shane is going on the stretcher. I don't. Part of me was like, are they telling a story here, or this is just like I don't know. It might be a whole thing to where that was me. What that would have been 5 years earlier, right? So it's kind of like it's nice to see that I still got it and I can still put somebody on the stretcher or whatever. But yeah, it's a good match. It should have been Shane versus Triple H, and it should have been Taker versus Sting or somebody else. Undertaker versus Big Show versus A-Train. Basically a handicap match because Nathan Jones was a thing. If you want me to explain Nathan Jones, that's how you explain Nathan Jones. I actually watched this match not too long ago, and there was some Undertaker was working his ass off. I can't put it on the instant classic, but this is a very good match. Like, Taker worked his ass off. Supposed to be a tag team match. It was basically a handicap match. Taker worked his ass off in that match. I'm telling you, bro. Watch that match back. I'm telling you, bro. It was better than it had any right to be. Ooh, I think this is Taker Batista. I think this is legendary, bro. Like, this is one of the ones. WrestleMania 23, Batista, Taker, WrestleMania 23, both on a chip on their shoulders. They were like third on their card when it should have been a real main event over Cena and Shawn Michaels, but you know, people politics, so yeah. But guess who probably was doing the politics thing? But yeah, they both had a chip on their shoulders. It was given on like 15 minutes, and there was no rest holds. It was balls to the wall from the bell ringing until the tombstone at the end. Like, Taker winning the title finally after like 5 years. Like, bruh, what a moment. One of Taker's best streak matches for sure. Shout out to Batista. And if you know the story, Batista went to the back and followed that because of the disrespect of Batista and Taker being third on a goddamn WrestleMania card when it should have been the main event. But yeah, nothing really followed that, so shout out to them for that. You know what? Let's get this out the way. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 26 streak versus career, legendary. One of the few matches to where I shed tears. Not a Ric Flair tear in my eye, tears. I don't think it followed the previous year, but it told a good story of them knowing each other a year later and countering each other's moves. And what a great story they told with Taker actually showing mercy on Shawn and did not want to end Shawn's career, but Shawn basically told Taker to end it by slapping him in the face and doing a throat sign, and then Taker does a epic tombstone WWE 2K style. Kind of like what he did versus Shane at Survivor Series 01. That whole infamous, move set that everybody used to do on SmackDown versus Raw. But anyway, definitely legendary match for sure. Kane versus Undertaker. This is an instant classic for me. I think this is one of the first real great matches Taker had during his streak. That wasn't even a streak at that point. Still shocked that Kane did not win based on the story they were telling. But I'm shocked to learn from what I've heard. Kane, it was supposed to be a one-off. It's supposed to be Kane, Taker, one time at WrestleMania. Kane goes off in the sunset. You never see him again. But Kane was such an intriguing character and a specimen that they had to keep him around. Wish he would have had more wins versus Taker. Never really got it until like a decade later. But what a great match. It was physical. That I think Taker did like a leap off the top rope through the announce table. Like, it was crazy. It was. This match is very good. Instant classic for me. One of the first, definitely one of the first great matches out of Undertaker at WrestleMania. Shout out to King. 3 tombstones. It took 3 tombstones and he kicked out that 4 on the third one. Boy, they built that guy strong. Didn't really follow up on it though. Undertaker versus Big Boss Man. It was okay. The fact that the Hell in a Cell, they made a Hell in a Cell match mid. Hard to do. But it's because of the match. The story they were telling was not Undertaker versus Big Boss Man. It was supposed to be Undertaker and Vince McMahon. That's the story you were telling. So how can you have a feud that revolves 2 guys and you replace one of the guys with someone who not even a main eventer or at that level? And just no disrespect to Big Boss Man, RIP, but it's kind of like, come on, man. I understand they did the whole hanging at the end, but it's kind of wild now. It's kind of like difficult to watch. I think it's like the debut of the Brood. Kind of like the debut of the Ministry around this time. But yeah, it's an okay match. It's not bad. It's not trash, but it's very close to it. Like, very close. Should have been Vince McMahon versus Taker Hell in a Cell WrestleMania 15. I think this is Jimmy Snuka, his very first match at WrestleMania 7. Okay match, nothing special. That's the only commentary I got. Taker versus Mark Henry casket match. Again, you know what? I think it's a trash match. I hate casket matches. I don't think there's a way to make a casket match actually be good. I think the only great casket match in the history of casket matches is probably Taker, Shawn, Royal Rumble, 98. And it's probably because it's Shawn. And it was a story that we're telling with Kane coming in and lighting the casket on fire. So it took a casket light on fire for it to actually be a good match. And Shawn Michaels, the greatest of all time. WrestleMania 22, Taker, Henry, it was trash, bro. It was trash. Oh, boy. Taker Reigns is an okay match. The problem is when you compare it to the other matches Taker has had throughout the years, it is trash. Let's just be straight up. It is trash. Roman wasn't ready. Not this Roman. Like, if Taker at this point would have faced Roman 5 years later, I think it would have been a way better match because you would have had a fleshed out character that could play the heel and what's the word I'm looking for? It could guide Taker through his limitations at this time. We didn't get that. So yeah. It was supposed to be Taker's last match, but after this, Taker was like, there's no way I can make that my last match. And now he was chasing having a good last match, which he kind of did, which is AJ Styles. So shout out to Taker for someone getting his great last match. Let's see here. Oh, Undertaker versus Edge. WrestleMania 24 main event. I'm saying it was a good match. I think I like the story they were telling with Edge countering everything Undertaker was doing. Truly showing that he was a student of the game. Edge, who I never really took serious as a world champion, not till like maybe a year later in 2009. He really showed out. He said watching interviews, he was very nervous, arms shaking, all that. But Taker and Edge had a very good match. I just think it was, I don't know, it was just something was missing from it. I can't explain it to make it better than just good. I don't know, it's just something about it was just missing something. I can't explain. I think the match they had following this are like Backlash, Judgment Day. Well, that ended in a no contest. The TLC match, Hell in a Cell. I think because they were just getting started, it just didn't flow. Like, it didn't flow the way Taker and Batista did a year earlier. It just, for some reason, it just didn't. It wasn't that of a great match, but it was very good though. I think he went 16-0 after this. And then, the crowd got, pyro on him. Taker Bray. Okay match. Taker, which if you watch WrestleMania 31, the 24, they talk about Taker not losing his confidence after his match a year prior versus Brock Lesnar, and Triple H had to basically give him a pep talk. And the match itself is okay. It's good. It's fine. It just, after losing the streak, it made his matches not mean anything. And plus Bray, I think this would have been a perfect time to elevate Bray and make him the next Phenom, even though unfortunately he wasn't long for this world. At least you could have, as long as Bray was there, you could have used him properly and made him the next guy. But they didn't want to do that. So unfortunately, like I said, it's a fine match. Nothing great, nothing bad, just fine. Okay. WrestleMania 29. This is an instant classic. Undertaker's last. Oh, you know what? I might have to put this on the legendary. Bro. You know what? This is legendary because this is Undertaker's last great WrestleMania match. Because it's CM Punk, who is truly the best in the world, and probably should have made it in it. Not probably, he should have made it in it. And Taker could still go. It's like he gave everything he had, and I didn't know at this time if Taker could, but him and CM Punk had a hell of a match. This is right after Paul Bearer passed away, God rest his soul, and they put on. And man, I wish he would have retired right after this. It would have been a great send-off. Retired 21-0, tribute to Paul Bearer. It would have been a perfect way to go out, but didn't happen. But yeah, legendary match in my opinion. What do we do with this? Just watch this. Taker versus Triple H at 27. I feel like it's between good and instant classic. Like, I feel like a lot of this, I'll say is, I feel like the story was very good. The match itself, I think, I'll say it's like I literally just watched this match. I feel like it's good. I feel like because they were telling the story that Taker could not go anymore, and it became a very physical Attitude Era type match. There were a lot of spots where they were just slaying. Like, it wasn't action. They were laying around a lot of times. So that's what it takes away from being an instant classic for me. And plus the match they would have a year later, way better. So I'll just say this was good. You know what? Let's get to it right now. The match they had, 28, legendary for me. Hell in a Cell is a 4-year story arc of Undertaker beating Shawn twice, then going on to beat Triple H, but Triple H is the one that was able to leave the ring on his own accord at 27, leading up to Taker begging Triple H for a match, which, the only way he got it is telling Triple H that Shawn was better than him. Just, oh my God, what a story. End of an era for sure. The match itself, one of the greatest near falls with the sweet chin music into the pedigree. Oh my God. I legit left my seat when that happened, when I watched it live. I legit I fell out my seat like, oh my God, it's over. But Taker won, redeemed himself from last year, and just the ending shot of Taker and Shawn picking up Triple H. Triple H looking at Taker like, what the fuck? And then going towards the entrance ramp and hugging and really telling a 4-year story arc. With Shawn being a special guest referee, downing Triple H, telling him that he couldn't win, and then had to wind up being involved. It just, oh my God, man, what a story. The only nitpick I have in that story is Triple H should have passed out at 27 instead of tapping out. That's the only thing that pisses me off. It was a perfect story, except Triple H should have passed out and did the 3-arm lifts instead of tapping out at 27. It would have told a perfect story, in my opinion, that Taker could not beat Triple H, even though he did at 17. But whatever. Speaking of that, Triple H and Taker at 17, an instant classic, bruh. This was an Attitude Era type match. Brawling around the ring, finishers, kicking out of them, in the crowd, brawl, go back to the ring, ref bumps, all that good stuff. Instant classic for sure. And kind of shocked that Triple H did not win this after just beating Stone Cold in 3 Stages of Hell, a pay-per-view prior. Kind of shocked that did not happen. And I believe this is the first time that the streak was actually mentioned by JR. Yeah, I think this is the first time it was actually mentioned that Taker is undefeated at WrestleMania. So let's go to WrestleMania 8, Undertaker versus Jake the Snake. I think it was a good match. I think this is Jake the Snake's last WWE match before he left and didn't come back till like 96. Taker went 2-0 in this match. Tombstone on the outside, really putting over Jake, having to do that. A great story they told. Jake was supposed to be the mentor to Taker, but Taker didn't take heed to it. Very solid match. If anything, if Jake the Snake knows anything, it's psychology, especially when he was in his prime. So, very good match for sure. All right, 2 more to go. We got Taker Kane, WrestleMania 20. It was a trash match. Let's be honest. The only thing great about this match is the return of the dead man Undertaker. Outside of that, everything else was blah. It was nothing. Kane. Okay. Kane, I want to say like 01 to 03. I think was very good. I don't think it was utilized the way it should have been, but was very good. Any time before that and after that, Kane could not really give you a good match. Like it was here and there. It was here and there, but Kane was never that great of a wrestler in my opinion. Respectfully, just never was. I only went from like 01 to like 03. He was. Outside of that, it just wasn't really that good. But yeah, just I don't know. They wrestled a billion times. Yeah, this match, it was just a blah of a match. So it was definitely trash to me. And last but not least, you should know, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, Heaven versus Hell, legendary match. Low key, it deserves a tier above legendary, probably GOAT, because probably the greatest match of all time, especially the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. Oh man, the story leading up to it, the entrances, the false finishes. Man, the dive, Taker head dive outside, because what was it? Not Manu, I think it was Deuce from Deuce and Domino was supposed to catch him and didn't. Whatever, but definitely one of the greatest matches, if not the greatest match of all time, WrestleMania. But that is my tier list of Undertaker's WrestleMania matches, streak and post streak. Let me know how you think I did. How would you rank all these matches? Comment below, like, comment, subscribe, share all the things of the things. Welcome to the hot bitch. Hey, it's okay, your hardcore casual fan. And if not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck it.
I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.